Congratulations, U.S. men's national team. You win the Gold Cup, right? That's what I saw.
This is pre-recorded, right?
Oh, that was terrible.
Oh, boy. My other team is Mexico.
Look at this Cristiano Donovan over here.
No, man, just, showing respect in these difficult times. But, bro, Gold Cup final.
Uh-huh.
Mexico wins it back-to-back.
Someone needs to tell that the U.S. men's national team that was a final because they didn't play like it, man.
I mean, what are you gonna do, bro? I mean, it's wild how every match leading up to this Gold Cup, the U.S. looked like a competent team.
Did they though? They went to who was it that they beat before Guatemala?
Trinidad.
No,
before Guatemala.
Who did they beat before Guatemala?
Well, somebody in the chat will tell us.
Carter, who did they beat before Guatemala?
Costa Rica.
That's who it was. They got penalties with Costa Rica, and then it took till pretty late in the game to beat Guatemala.
Sure. All right. I mean,
maybe we overhyped them. Maybe we were the ones.
But just it was a bit of a slap in the face. The reality of like the level when it came to just maintaining some level of possession and just looking like they could cause some harm against Mexico outside of the goal, the early goal from Chris Richards. But
thank you for hanging out with us. If you didn't see that was obviously a 2-1 win by Mexico over the U.S.
Exactly.
That's Tyler Adams' first ever loss to Mexico.
Unreal. I mean, we thought the streak would continue, but it finally ended. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cooligans. We are live here on YouTube, and welcome to everybody watching across Yahoo Sports and all the Yahoo Sports channels.
Thank you for hanging out with us. Clearly, one of us is upset. Christian's wearing a Mexico jersey,
we're both upset, but I'm just again showing love. It's a difficult time out, being Latino out in the United States. So I'm just showing a little bit of solidarity. But obviously, I'm bummed that the U.S. men's national team, loses to Mexico. More than it's not even just a loss. It is just like we didn't even touch the ball, bro. It was remarkable.
I was looking at second half possession. It's not as terrible as you think. It's 46-54. But what are the shots? Total shots? Mexico with 9, U.S. with 3. 3 total shots in the second half.
That's just literally not good enough.
That's 6-16? Damn, all game?
Brutal.
Embarrassing.
Bryce Jackson said, don't bring Ajman back here no more.
Nah, bro. Look, you a nice guy. Maybe if they need like an assistant to pick up the cones, Ajman, you back. But that was embarrassing.
Well, Ajman will be going to Derby County out in the championship.
Fix him, Derby.
England, he's your problem now.
Yo, fix him. We don't want him back unless he fixed.
Nah, man. Frustrating. A lot of people will figure out who's to blame. But there's a lot of blame to go around.
There is. There's a lot of mediocrity. There's some players that I expected to have a good game that didn't. Sure. Tyler Adams in particular.
Tyler Adams did not do much.
He didn't have a great game.
Diego Luna had arguably his worst game in the U.S. shirt.
Yeah, that was not a fun one by Diego Luna either. A lot of the people that we expected to step up. I mean, I can't be that the spotlight was too big, right? This wasn't too big of an opportunity for some of these players.
I don't think so either. I just think, though, Mexico was confident the entire game with every single touch, every single possession, just every single pass.
Also,
they didn't miss a step.
Aguirre kept making adjustments. He kept making, the Mexico national team coach kept making adjustments throughout the game, something that Pochettino just did not do enough of.
Well,
he switched to 3 at the back at one point, trying to match the overload in the midfield that Mexico had switched to, which clearly caused problems towards the end of the second half. We couldn't even touch the ball. They started olaying while drawing 1-1.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So they overloaded the midfield. We had no answers for that, and it seemingly no one on the men's national team was good enough to figure it out in that moment. Malik Tillman was being dragged back so far back defensively that he was no longer a threat offensively.
Luna was lost. I mean, he really couldn't have any impact in the game at all, and especially
he was tracking back so far. It looked like our fullback.
It was he was on Pat McAfee's show this week talking about this match, previewing it, and talking about the whole decision of playing for the U.S. and you know his family's Mexican, but he always supported the U.S. even as a kid, even in a household that was supporting Mexico. So it's like legit his passion for the national team. And I'm watching the game thinking about that. Maybe he's thinking about like, this is a big game. There's a lot of pressure. My family's here. I have to really, you know, maybe it's there because. And that, it's not just him because everybody pretty much played poorly. But look, it's not like they gave up a ton of goals or anything like that. They played okay from a defensive standpoint. They only gave up 2, but going forward and the completely outdone by the midfield, Mexico's midfield. There was nothing. There was nothing we could do. We just couldn't.
Seriously, there's nothing we did do. There was a lot we could have done. There was nothing we did do. Why don't we go to the player of the game?
Yeah.
Which is Christian Polanco in a Mexico shirt. No, it's.
I wish I looked like this.
It's in Alvarez.
He was fantastic. He got the game-winning goal, and then the game-winning goal, VAR goes to take a look at it, and
it's Freeman.
Alex Freeman, and again, it's just this is I hate continuously bringing up the Dominican Republic.
Oh my God, here we go, everybody. Buckle your seatbelts.
But in the game, in the Gold Cup match between DR and Mexico, set pieces were a big problem. Mexico, I think the strongest set piece team in this Gold Cup, and you can see how much they, how many corners did they have? I think 9 or 10 or something like that.
Right.
How difficult they made it for the U.S. But it puts players that don't have the expertise and experience of like how to manage set pieces. You sort of just need years of experience of knowing who to mark, knowing where to be. If the ball gets flicked on, stay in your position, not to move back. All these things.
I don't know that it's years of IQ. I think what you need is, years of expertise.
Experience.
You need a high football IQ or just an active football IQ. And there were moments where it just seemed like our players were lost in what to do
Arslan
next.
made an error where he let Alexis Vega run through.
Shouts to men named Alexis, though. There's not enough of us out there.
And so those moments are just.
But like, you know,
the younger players
Alex
were the ones
Freeman
that made the mistakes.
Freeman was caught out of position multiple times, and we were having that conversation where he's active and he's such a fast player that he can get back in position. But if you're out of position to start with, I'm not going to give you credit for getting back to where you should have been.
Sure.
Although that certainly can work in certain moments. But there were multiple players who were having a bad situation. I guess we probably have to ask the question, what does a performance like this do for the World Cup, at least the stock of these players going into the World Cup?
I'd be lying if I said it wasn't affected a little bit. But you got to... I'll start with the positives. I think throughout this tournament and having the challenges that they had against Matt Freese, I thought held his own. There was nothing he could do on either of the goals. So I think he sort of looks the best here. The stock was going up and up and up for Diego Luna until kind of has this stinker. But
I think Diego Luna needed a big game here in order to sort of
solidify.
Yeah, and I don't think he did do that. And I don't know. There's no other competitive match. For how many days did we say, Carter, before the next match? 341 days into the next competitive match. Do you know what game that is?
It's El Mundial.
Yeah, it's the first game of the World Cup. So where are we going to see a high-pressure moment where Diego Luna does deliver? I don't think that comes. I don't think that happens unless Diego Luna somehow makes a move to a different league or something. Like, I don't even know.
Really? We were saying after the game against Costa Rica and Guatemala, we were like, that's it, he's a lock. And now that's done?
From what he showed you, do you trust him now fully going into a World Cup game where the stakes are going to be higher than a Gold Cup final?
I'm a little nervous, but I think he's done enough to earn a roster spot, not a starter.
I think fine. I think clearly Pochettino trusts him, but that begs the question: does Pochettino have a spot on the World Cup team?
Yeah, this is it's frustrating to say like a win here changes the whole perspective, but it does. I don't think it does. I said at the beginning of the Gold Cup, I said I thought the U.S. would only reach the semifinal. I didn't think they would win it. So for me, this is a great result. just getting to the final, I think is good for this particular group. If it was Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa, Christian Pulisic, and losing the final, then I'm like, yo,
but
I'm worried.
If they get to a semifinal, that's successful. So you think this was a successful tournament for the U.S. men's national team?
I do. But with this roster,
I think it's fitting that you're wearing a Mexico shirt when you say that, because I can't find where you picture this as a positive for the U.S. men's national team.
Because it does all the winning the trophy does is build the confidence of the team. It doesn't give us any competitive matches in these 341 days. It doesn't change what the next 12 months we're going to look like.
I disagree. And I want to go back to a comment that was put in earlier, and I believe it was Ben Skolnick. So if it wasn't, I apologize. But Pochettino had one test on his way to the World Cup. This was it, and he failed it.
I mean, I would argue he had 2 with the Nations League, but okay.
One test left.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe that's what he meant, but
Sure.
I'm trying not to paraphrase. But I completely agree with that sentiment. This was a moment to prove that what you do raises the value of the player, raises the level of the American player, that maybe it's your tactical genius that was what was missing before when we had Greg Berhalter. Maybe it's your knowledge of how to put your arm around a player and get them to play above their pay grade, get them to play at a level that we didn't have before. I did not see that. Granted, if you were to show me the list of these players and say this team made it to a Gold Cup final, I'd be shocked, because I don't think this list of players is on, for the most part, 90% of these players aren't on your list of players that should be in the World Cup. So I'm surprised. He's got a 10-6-0 record. Damn, we don't have not one draw. This guy. Jesus. So, I mean, I'm not looking at this and saying Mauricio Pochettino is doing a job so much better than what Greg Berhalter did.
No.
Have you seen anything?
No.
That?
But again,
the mismanagement of the roster. We have to, at some point, we have to ask those questions. What actually went down with you and Christian Pulisic?
Sure.
Who's to blame here?
A win makes us not ask those questions, right?
We're not even broaching that subject.
It's like, man, Pochettino, you got it right again,
Right.
you know?
That's like if you get in an argument with wifey, but you're out at like a family event. You know what I mean? Where like she can't really talk to you about
Exactly.
it.
This
You
is-
gotta go home and lay the pipe. You feel me? You gotta jump
Yeah,
right
okay,
in.
yeah. I mean,
You know?
this is that. Shout out to
You gotta
shout out
put-
to everybody watching on Yahoo.
Yo, everyone at Yahoo, you
This
know what
is
I'm
how
talking
you learn.
about. You gotta put Shorty to sleep, because if not, she gonna remember. You gotta get a win, is what I'm saying.
Got
Yo,
it.
you didn't get a win. You got a loss.
And that's what happened. Pochettino didn't lay the pipe on
Nah,
us.
yeah, dog.
That's what happened.
Wearing a Mexico shirt, I can argue that is a correct statement. While wearing a Mexico shirt.
no.
Thank you, everybody.
I mean,
watching.
we can focus on Pochettino's decisions. Again, he made a earlier substitution than usual. He brought Damian Downs in late in the or early 70 60 somethings, early 70s. 69th minute.
69th minute.
Nice. Okay.
Damn.
Shout out Pochettino. Didn't realize
Damn.
I wasn't familiar with your game. dog.
I king.
So, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, maybe he's willing to take a little bit more of a risk. But you got to think about the preparation into this game. Pochettino hadn't played Mexico before, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No. The last game was a 2-0 win by Greg Berhalter.
Okay.
And that was Nations League.
Right. So I just don't think he like
Wait a minute. No, I'm wrong. There was a 2-0 loss.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pochettino did coach.
That, yes, it doesn't say, actually.
Okay, I assume so. I don't know. Maybe we can confirm.
We can confirm
But
that.
I don't think he prepared this team.
Had to, because it was earlier this year. But
Yeah.
yeah.
He didn't prepare this team to.
Sorry, it was at the end of last year, but yeah. Go ahead.
There was just that midfield not being able to get the ball, like Berhalter turning the ball over.
Weak passes.
Just what is it?
Lazy passes. And I don't know what to expect anymore from Patrick Agyemang. I just don't know what it is that I'm not seeing that other people are. That where's he going to? Derby County? Derby County?
Yeah.
That Derby County sees. I'm not sure what I'm seeing, but there seem to be moments where he completely lapsed in his press. You know, his pressing duties. There were moments where he completely didn't where he just stopped making a run. There were moments where he sort of stopped and let the defender get to the ball first so that I guess they wouldn't clatter into each other or something. I was just so frustrated watching this game, and there was times where I said, it feels like we're playing a man down.
Yeah.
Any ball sent to the final third or sent to our attack just kind of fizzled away. There wasn't one where he grabbed it, and I thought, here we go.
All right, look who's back. USMNT Otaku.
I swear to God, this is your burner.
On Twitter said, I hope after today, a lot of USMNT fans understand the importance of players like Pulisic, McKennie, Jedi, Des, Balogun, Pepe, Weah, and yes, even Gio Reyna are to the team. Which is...
I could question the last one, right? Because Gio Reyna needs to at least get on the Club World Cup. He did 12 minutes total, all competition. I question that one because I think Malik Tillman is a good replacement.
This is a little heavy-handed and obvious of like, yes. But I mean, do you not tweet that if they win the game? Right? You don't tweet that if they win the game, but that's still a reality.
Is this Joe Lowry from Total Soccer Show?
Yeah.
It's the homie, Joe Lowry. He said, this summer has made it so clear that Christian Pulisic should not be taking set pieces for the U.S. men's national team. I mean, on the list of priority takes, that was, 9th out of 10? That's great. Joe Lowry's a details guy, bro.
Right, because it's Colin Berhalter for the set pieces. USMNT loudmouth. What was that, Alexis?
Wow.
When Ajimang isn't hiding behind defenders, he's on the ground. He plays like he's scared to get the ball.
Literally what I said as well. I completely agree with Loudmouth.
I don't think that. I think he is.
You couldn't show me evidence to suggest that that's not true.
I don't think he's scared to get the ball.
You could not show me evidence from this competition that says that that's not true.
Well, I'm going to make a case.
I'm going to do this right here, all right? And you don't have it.
I'm going to make a case. All right, I'll say it.
Cutter Whitley says, at USMNT, Patrick Ajimang is the worst striker in the history of the U.S. All right, that's a bit wild. That's a bit wild. That's a hell of a thing.
A little different than...
Bro, you don't remember what was happening in the 60s, dog?
I mean, a little different than Joe Lowry's take. Not as much analysis.
Joe Lowry's measuring the stud size on the boots. And you're over here. I don't know he's the worst, but I think...
Okay, I'll say this is my case.
I guess here's the question. From watching Patrick Ajimang play in MLS, what did you think he would bring to this game? Or to this team?
I've said it plenty of times on the show. He brings a physicality to the game and a fear to defenders, and you see why he's
okay. How did that help us in this competition?
Let me just tell you what he brings.
All right, my guy's cooking. Hold on,
he can't even say his resume. Read the resume first, and then you decide if you don't want to hire him.
I need you to give me this take because I need it.
And we saw it throughout the group stages. But his physicality is a threat to defenders. They are holding him, wrapping him up all the time. They don't really give him any space, and this is the weakness of his game. He doesn't know when to use his physicality and when not to. When to give the defender some space. He's basically no threat to make a run for a through ball or somebody sending a ball over the top. He is not a threat, and so he is. He's allowing the defenders to hold him. They send him the ball, and he can't control the ball. He's not getting headers.
You're going to play with your back to goal so you can link up with other players.
Right.
He don't do that.
That's the weakness of his game. But when
look at this. Read the stats. 1 big chance missed. 8 touches in the opposition box. Six, my bad. How many did Raul Jimenez have?
Alexis. 6 touches.
What's that say? Is that Patrick Ajimang? That looks like 8 to me still.
1 out of 2 successful dribbles.
How many did Raul Jimenez have in the opposition box? Because I bet you it's more than 6.
Spider Zlatan in the chat just said defenders.
Oh, he only had 4? Well, damn. At least he scored 1.
Spider Zlatan said defenders do that all the time to forwards. He just can't handle it. I agree. Michael Raymond said, Christian, you just made a case to not play
Literally,
him. I wasn't making a case to play him. I was just making a case of what his positives are, and he causes trouble probably once or twice in a game for defenders.
Shouts to Jamel Johnson in the chat.
Hey, Jamel. Hilarious comic.
Super hilarious comedian. He said, Ajimang bought a couple of fouls today, but the fool clearly playing a raw version of football out there. I completely agree. I think it's difficult for me to sit here and say, I think Ajimang has something. I think that's clear. I've seen him play enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, bro, there's some magic to this guy's game, but the level that we expected him to play was too high for him.
Sure.
The level that was expected of him, he did not reach. I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying he didn't reach. And you have to question the loyalty that Mauricio Pochettino showed keeping him in the starting lineup in this roster. And now, granted, I wanted Damian Downs to come in with more minutes. He came in with a lot more minutes. It's a two-striker system with Ajimang, so it's not perfect. But I didn't see enough from Damian Downs either to suggest this would have been the gap of indifference of what I expected was going to be much different. But at the end of the day, I think it's very clear we didn't get enough from him.
We got another comment on
Canoon.
YouTube. Canoon says, I low-key feel like we got to lose these England-looking kits and go back to the Waldo. England is cursed, and we're being cursed by association, yo.
I mean, this guy's like, maybe it's the shirt, you know?
I love it. It's the design. He's like going to the Nike designers, like, bro, fix it.
Zach Amen said, what result next year does Poch need for his tenure to be a success? Round of 16, quarters?
Oh, man.
Bro, this is put it in the chat what you think. I'm interested to hear what y'all think. Maybe we should give it a couple seconds for the delay to catch up.
Sure.
Because I really don't know. Bryce Jackson says, Ajimon big and imposing, but his feet are set to newborn baby gazelle. Yo.
But the funny thing is that we can picture it exactly.
100%.
We know exactly what you're talking about.
Like you ever sit on the toilet for too long and your legs go numb? You know, and you get up. You know what I'm talking about?
Yo, hold up. Go to Alexis ISO. Give him time.
Yeah.
Hold on, you gotta switch.
You gotta switch me out. You gotta get me out the box.
You gotta get out the different scene, Carter. Go to the main scene. You're on the wrong thing. There you go.
There we go. Here we go.
There. Go to Alexis. Go to Alexis ISO. Give him time.
We're learning in real time.
Shut up.
I'm back, and here I am.
Here we go. All right.
Yo, you know when you on a toilet, right? And you're on there for too long because you're reading a really cool post on Reddit. You know what I mean? And the comments are hilarious, and now your legs are numb, right? But you done. You wiped already. You was just chilling on that toilet. And now you got to get up. So you call Shorty to come over and pick you up from the toilet. And now she's holding your hand, and you walk in, and you're looking like you just got out of the hospital bed for the first time in a coma. Ajima plays at that. That the ability to use your legs,
right?
That's Ajima's ability.
Yeah, you need to do some recovery.
Yeah.
After you step off the toilet.
I'm like, yo, shake out the pins and needles, man.
I love how this is Alexis's description. This is how he relates to Patrick Ajimang, an elite athlete.
What I'm trying to say is, Ajimang, I feel you, dog.
Like, bro,
but
I get what you're going through, dog.
You gotta shift a couple of times so that the blood has a chance to get back to them toes. And also, you can't get up and run. And by the way, you gotta shift, because what happens if you don't shift and the fire alarm goes off? You're screwed. You're crawling out the house with a dirty butt.
Let's see what bathroom take Max Brados has. Max Brados, shout out to Max. Says, no shame in losing to Mexico. A team in entertaining, intense affair. However, with early goal, we're in position to at very least go to pens. Not getting to tape falls on take falls. I'm gonna say tape.
Not
falls.
getting to the tape. I guess he's saying to tape falls on the manager.
Falls on manager's day. Was fun Gold Cup ride. Not sure how much better I feel about 2026 though. I kind of share the same feeling as Max Brados.
I hit too many buttons.
I feel the same way.
Again, calling this the Mexico A team, sure. I think most of their A team was in there. I'm still saying we had like Max is saying, with an early goal, you would expect that they put the pressure on themselves to get up and score more. That leaves gaps, and you can take advantage of those gaps. We had no one on this team smart enough to take advantage of those open spaces. There were multiple runs being made by our outside backs or forward, the wingers, whoever were in those wingers position, that no one saw it out. There was opportunities to attack where Malik Tillman had to be too far back defending because we couldn't string together enough passes for Malik Tillman to take advantage of that. And again, yes, it's maybe the lack of our superstars. And we read the tweet before. How many of our biggest names were in there? Pulisic, Weah, Gio Reyna, McKennie. Enough players where you add one of those players, it makes enough of a difference in this game to at least equalize.
Sure.
And to not have that was so frustrating. But again, we had depth on the bench. Maybe not great depth, but we had some depth on the bench. And to go, it's the 80th minute before a second sub?
Yeah, I disagree there. I don't think that was much depth. And
you don't think Jack McGlynn with a bit more time would have at least set the screamer? Something with this?
No, I don't. I think because I think the players were nervous. And this is the difference between the games we saw with Adams, McKennie, Pulisic, Weah. When we saw those players, they're a bit more poised in a game like this. They understand the pressure of what it means to play against Mexico, and they had a good stretch the last couple of years.
I agree, but I think you're not giving credit to the feeling of wanting to beat Mexico on that bench. One of those players want to come in and try something magical.
I mean, there's nobody there that I'm definitively like I know they're gonna make a difference. There was nobody.
So you were comfortable with just one sub until the 80th
I wasn't comfortable because they were just defending.
Well, now you're giving me a mixed message like you're wearing a Mexico shirt. By the way, he wasn't wearing this all game. He just he put this on right after the final
whistle. They were defending all game. So get somebody at least with fresh legs to also defend and maybe take it to extra time or something.
Maybe. I get your point, but clearly changes need to be made. Michael Raymond said in Blangola, Alexis is king and his throne is a gold toilet. How about this? How about just a chair with a hole in it? You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can do both.
A latrine.
Hell yeah, dog.
The golden latrine.
Hell yeah. Taking Luna off was a bit weird, says Spider Zlatan. I mean, I could kind of agree, but he was really wholly ineffective this game.
Wait, who'd you say?
He said taking Luna off was a bit weird.
Yeah.
He just wasn't effective. You got to try something else.
Yeah.
Damian Downs subbing in, thumbs up. Ajimang staying on, thumbs down. I could see that. Keeping Ajimang in while Damian Downs comes in, I think was a big mistake.
I agree there. When I saw Damian Downs,
proof of that was what happens when he gets the ball on a long ball and he does nothing with it.
When Damian Downs was like I guess talking to Pochettino, I'm like, oh, dope. Ajimang's out.
Yeah.
And no, it was Luca Del Toro. Yeah. And Luca Del Toro also didn't really do much of anything.
Also didn't do much. I forgot he was in the game, to be honest with you. Also, I got to be honest, for large parts, I completely forgot that, even Tyler Adams was in the game.
Yeah. This was everybody was just kind of just ineffective. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I do want to, let's get to this.
This is super important.
The handball or non-handball call. Obviously, who was it that dribbled through Max Arfston?
Also, can somebody put like breakdance music to this picture? This is wild.
Okay, so we have posted it as well.
He looked like he bowling.
Yeah, we posted it on Twitter and Blue Sky.
Can't see it in this box, but his hand is planted on the ball. If you watch
if you think it's a handball, hit like on YouTube right now. But this was. Who was the player? I think it was the 16-year-old player, the kid. I forgot his name. Mora?
Is it Mora?
Mora.
Yeah.
This
is crazy.
Please, chat, let me know. Do you think this is a handball? I understand he makes the challenge. His plant hand goes down. And I understand if maybe you're trying to stop a cross and your plant hand blocks the ball from going through. I get that. I know the rule. We've seen it enough. But he makes a stop. Great defense. Goes to resettle himself. Goes to put down his plant hand. Palms the ball.
We're looking
at it. Completely palms the ball. Ref is like, no, keep it moving. That's his plant hand. This is allowed? I mean, he stops it with his leg, and then his hand helps him control it, and he palms the ball to the ground.
Now, do we have the IFAB rule?
No, I was looking for it, and I couldn't find it. I'm like, the IFAB app is mad difficult to search.
Well, they probably like deleting that post right now. They're like, yo, hide it in the settings.
So I can't find it, but no.
This feels to me like a handball, and I understand on the broadcast they were talking about the plant hand. And I get that if you're trying to hold yourself up or stopping from falling and the ball hits that hand, there's nothing you can do. This feels different. This feels a little different.
It's weird to me that it's not that much of a controversy. Michael Raymond said if someone kicks the ball at the hands, it's a handball, right? Yeah. Like we understand that. We understand the concept of it. Again, if it was a different scenario where, again, he stops the ball with his plant hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Oh, it's annoying for the U.S., but like that's the rule. Stopping the ball with your leg, and then because you're falling, you use your plant hand to completely put your. It's not even like a touch, a finger.
No. Like, what are we doing?
Slightly redirected. My man, straight up, Jordan palmed the ball.
Like, you know when you keep the ball away from your nephew? You know what I'm talking about? One of those little Fisher-Price balls?
I don't even think anybody would have been mad if they called the handball.
It would be harsh to call it, but you have to call that. Says, it just scrolled past, so I couldn't see who said it. But, yeah, I get it. You know what? I can understand on both sides there being an argument as to, like, yo, what the hell's going on? But when you see the photo, it makes it so hard. All right, Jerd2 1981 says, I don't know what a handball is anymore.
And
I could completely understand the sentiment.
The weird thing is that over the years we've been watching this sport, we think we
knew
get
what
it.
it was.
We think we got it.
This is what COVID took away from us, bro. Is an understanding of what a handball is. Michael
this
Raven
is,
said
all those
literally.
Zoom calls fried our brains.
Michael Raven said, literally touch the ball with the hand? No handball. Hey, yo, when you put it like that, there's nothing I can say.
That's well put.
If you show up and they said somebody robbed this bank and you're holding a gun and a bunch of money,
look like a comical sack of cash with
and you're
a
wearing one
dollar
of those
sign
raccoon masks and a black and white striped shirt, I'd be like, I think you robbed the bank. No, technically I did not, sir. Dominic said it would have to be a harsh call, but you have to call it. You have to
call it. You have to call it. Maybe VAR is like, let me open the IFAB app and be like, hey, look, I actually don't think this is a handball. That's a handball.
Andrew Johnson said, unnatural position, even if it's accidental. Yeah, I mean, again,
I've seen much less egregious handballs called.
100%.
How does he swallow the whistle?
Remember that one like 2 years ago? The guy had both hands behind his back, but his elbow was out a little bit.
Right.
He caught a handball. This guy's
not an elbow ball.
No, a whole handball. This guy looked like he was bowling in the photo.
My man did the Allen Iverson crossover.
Yo, remember that meme of like
the and one?
No,
logo.
remember the meme of the Asian kid with the glasses and he's like a heavy like that.
Yeah.
And it said, go cross division. He said, which one of these MFers is division? Because he got the heavy cross. That's what he looked like.
I thought I knew this game, and it's always something that surprises me. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, this is just something that's wild to adjust to this reality of what handball is nowadays.
I'm about to ask you a question that's gonna make me look like an absolute jerk off. Okay.
Okay.
I need the chat's help for this.
Okay.
I need 3 players from this squad that you say is guaranteed, based on the performance in this Gold Cup, to be a part of the World Cup squad.
3? I mean, that's
3 players.
Shouldn't be too difficult. Tyler Adams, obviously.
I know. Well, I mean, he's already on it.
Oh,
so
okay.
pick one of the newer players.
The newer guys. Oh. 3? Damn,
Yeah,
bro.
that's what I
How
said.
dare you ask?
I think, do we say Diego Luna at least deserves to be on the squad?
He won it for me. He won an opportunity, yes.
Okay, so we're going to go yes for Diego Luna.
Matt Freese won an opportunity.
That was actually going to be a big one. Has he done enough for you?
To be amongst 3 goalkeepers, to be going, yes. I think
the question for Matt Freese is, all right, let's go with outfield player, because I think the question for Matt Freese is different. So let's go with outfield players.
Okay.
3 of the newer recruits, so the people that aren't normally a part of your A squad, that deserve a chance to be on this, and not a goalkeeper, outfield players. I'm seeing a lot of Freese. I agree with you. Matt Freese deserves to be there, but let's go. Clearly, Diego Luna.
Does Tillman count because he's already
on there.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Arfston, calls for Arfston. Here's where I have a difficulty is he will be asked to defend. And we've seen that's not really his strong suit.
Sure.
Yeah, he's really good going forward. But it's that defending part. And again, we saw Diego Luna constantly out of a position that he could help the midfield because he felt like he needed to fall so far back to help Arfston defend.
Yes, I mean you
enough that
you would imagine against they're gonna be tougher teams than Mexico.
Mauricio Pochettino put his arm around him and said, "Yo, I need you to not get that far back, my guy." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. They mentioned that in the broadcast that he was walking. He was basically already giving him a halftime talk as soon as the whistle blew and asking him essentially.
He's like, in there, I'm gonna talk to everybody. Out here, I'm talking to you.
So, but it sounds like Pochettino believes that he can get more out of him, and he can contribute more, even in a game like that.
Yeah, Spider Zlatan said 3 that Potch will bring or normal people.
Yeah, this is
Berhalter. Okay, so is that your three players? Diego Luna, Max Arfsten, and Sebastian Berhalter.
No, to me, Berhalter didn't do enough to get an opportunity.
I actually think that's kind of crazy. I think he has done enough to at least be a part of the squad.
Okay, I guess. I mean, according to Joe Lowry, set pieces, maybe he could be useful in games like that. But this is just really disappointing for a game like this. And again, I understood that the U.S. could lose this game. And in the beginning of the Gold Cup, I didn't even think they would even get to the final. But to play like that in a game like that is just so disappointing. And my stock was much higher on a lot of these players. And then as soon as the pressure came and playing in Houston, playing effectively an away game, and to play like that and to be that, to turn the ball, it's disheartening. Yeah,
I agree with you.
So fresh. So it's difficult to be excited about really any players. We should at the very least give flowers to who I thought was probably the best player for the U.S. in this tournament was Chris Richards. I
would say between Chris Richards and Malik Tillman, but Chris Richards proves
stepped up.
He is your starting.
Especially in a game like that. How many blocked by Chris Richards, blocked by Chris. If we can get the stat on how many blocks.
Also, in the chat, Carter, in the chat, can you put up a poll that asks, did Sebastian Berhalter do enough to be a part of the World Cup squad? Because I'm interested to hear what they say, because we skipped over the Matt Freese conversation, which we should have. But
13 clearances
Chris Richards. Chris Richards, like, what, they say goalkeepers stood on their head. That's what I'm about to say about Chris Richards. Because he was literally your last line of defense for a lot of this. And again, the frustrating part for me is that he was being paired alongside Tim Ream, who I do not believe Tim Ream will be your starting center back in the World Cup. Let me rephrase that. I have a hard time believing that we're going to do well if Tim Ream is our starting center back. Not because he lacks the skill. He's probably, intelligence-wise, football IQ-wise, the best center back we have in the country. Okay. But again, he's so much older, and he's not playing all that well in Charlotte that I'm going to sit here and say maybe he shouldn't be the starter. Dominic says, skill-wise, I think Berhalter should be a reserve in case of injury. Luna for sure. I don't hate that take. Yeah. But does that mean he did enough for you to be considered but not be a part of the squad?
Yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like if advocating for both. Yeah.
If Sebastian Berhalter comes in the second half of a match in the World Cup, I'm not scared.
Neither am I. Yeah, I mean, especially as a player of his ilk, which is more defensive-minded.
Right.
And I did like the attempt. Pochettino did make a change and sent Alex Freeman forward and sent Berhalter back in certain moments in possession and stuff like that. So
Freese, Arfsten, Luna seems to be the constant.
The three, yeah. I mean, just again,
Freese, Luna, Richard. Okay, yeah, Chris Richard for sure.
Yeah, obviously.
Not Hajiman.
Okay, solid three.
Ben Skolnick is on point. I'm on the same page with Ben Skolnick. And again, apologies to Patrick Hajiman. I don't think you're watching this. I think you're having a conversation with Pochettino.
Look, my hope is that he gets to Derby County and they find the flaws.
Clearly, people are seeing something.
Exactly. I mean, what is it? 8 million?
Yeah, something along those
lines to Derby County, and then I believe Charlotte gets a sell-on as well. So the stock is high on him, right?
Let's have a conversation about Matt Freese. Right now, Matt Turner not getting on the field, right? Not getting between the sticks. We'll see what happens. Did he officially move to Lyon?
Yeah. You mean Matt Turner?
Matt Turner.
You said Matt Freese.
Oh, my bad. Matt Turner.
Matt Turner, yes. Tom Bogert reported that the move is official and that Lyon are under they've been relegated.
Potentially.
Yeah. So they think it's the decision is going to be reversed or something like that. So
right, because they got enough money. I think they still need $10 million more.
Yeah, and John Sexter, the owner of Crystal Palace and Lyon, he sold
I think it's just Texter.
Isn't it Texter or Sexter?
Yeah. No, it's Texter.
All right, whatever.
I know he got money, Christian. Yeah. Sexter.
Sorry, I was just texting my lady.
Yeah. I think that's his burner account. So we're seeing here Matt Freese with 6 saves. He faced 2.25 xGOT, which is XG on target, if you don't know. Again, he gave up 2 goals. They had an XG of 2.25. So, again,
he couldn't do anything.
He couldn't do about either of those goals.
Yeah.
Especially with the deflection on the first one. But with Matt Turner not getting on the field, with Zach Steffen being in MLS, maybe not at the highest level, not facing the highest level of a competition. I know Matt Freese is as well, but Zach Steffen having gotten that chance and sort of lost it. Matt Turner kind of not being between the sticks. Maybe he'll be in the second division Ligue 1 or what Ligue 2, you know. And then you've got Ethan Horvath, maybe, is another person that could kind of be in the conversation. I'm sitting here thinking like, yo, Matt Freese kind of did enough for me to say this could be your starter. Matt Turner needs to do something this club year in order to prove to me he deserves to be number 1 again.
I mean, I do think he did enough. I think the playing out of the back, playing with his feet, though, it's still a little nervier than I would like.
But the throws, though, when he catches and runs and throws, the bowling throws.
There were a couple good ones.
Yeah. I mean, I'm confident with that. And I'm not worried about him with the ball at his feet. I just know he's not the most accurate passer. I mean, we're looking at here 8 out of 15 accurate passes. Yeah. Not a great stat.
Yeah, but in this game, I'm not going to be that harsh. I mean, he was sending the ball to Ajimang. Ajimang, I don't even know how many times he had the ball.
1 out of 8 accurate passes, that's not his fault. This is not a Matt Freese stat.
I mean, this was a talking moment while we were watching the game. I'm talking about that. I'm like, why is Raul Jimenez so strong?
Yeah.
Why is he winning aerial balls against 2 of our players?
Which was the only positive you drew about Patrick Ajimang, is that his and it was the other guy that's doing it.
Exactly. Ajimang, every time the ball was sent to him, he barely even touched the ball when it's in the air. Like, bro, you're like 6'3". Like, you should at least be impacting the game in that way, and he just wasn't. And so, but when you see a player, Raul Jimenez, who is, 12 years older or something like that than Ajimang, I'm like, bro, he was bodying.
He's showing you how he's done. And again, the experience level is way different between the
obviously
two of
playing
them.
in the Premier League.
3 years ago, he's on Fulham. 3 years ago, Ajimang is in the 3rd division.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a little different.
3 years ago, I think he was at Wolves, but yes.
3 years ago?
He was at Wolves before. It could have been 3 years ago. I don't know how long he's been at Fulham.
When he got injured. I think he was already at Fulham when he got injured. Schulte was a name I forgot. Andrew Johnson said Freese, Schulte, Steffen will be the 3 called in June 2026.
Montes is 6'5". I did not realize Montes was that tall.
He's 6'5". Yeah.
But still, I mean, I understand Montes is going to win a couple of them, but Ajimang should get a couple of those at the very least.
Jimmy Crack Coin, great name, said, how is it that we are a first world country and we don't have one guy that can go beat a defender, man on? Also, how is it that every time the keeper gets the ball, he just kicks it back to the other team? Yeah, that was really frustrating to watch. And
not Matt Freese's fault.
It's not Matt Freese's fault. I think it was the game state, really, because I don't think that was the plan. I think the plan is to play out of the back.
Yeah, but they when you're nervous,
you weren't put in position to do that.
When you're nervous about playing out of the back, and
I got nervous when you said Sexter. I was like, yo, clear it. And I mean your search history.
Anyway, Sexter, common mistake.
Common mistake. We all thought it. Every time I see my guy.
You say potato, I say sexting.
All right, here we go.
Right?
We got a couple of tweets coming up. This is LeezyFX says at USC, next time show up with a real roster.
But it's the Club World Cup. It's not their fault. The Club World Cup took a couple of their players.
Who?
McKennie, Weah.
McKennie, I get it. Weah, I get it. Who else?
Gio, maybe. Gio Reyna. Gio Reyna probably gets called in.
He probably should have just said, nah, I'm good. I'm going to go with these guys.
So,
Pulisic wasn't in the Club World Cup, may I remind you?
Right. And that was it.
And here we go. USMNT Burner says, I mean, thank God Christian Pulisic was playing golf with Charlie Woods while we were subject to Patrick Ajimang ball. I mean, that is... It's wild. And you know what the wildest part is? How right you are, USMNT Burner.
I love the Charlie Woods reference. Just be friends with Tiger Woods' child.
I know.
It's just like a fun.
Is your dad hard on you too? Yeah, mine was hard on me too.
So, anything else? Any other tweets? Let's go to the next one. Oh no more tweets. Okay.
All right. Why don't we?
All right, so
let's do a little USMNT. We got a year left, technically 341 days, if I'm not mistaken, for the World Cup. Our producer just said the word prognosis in our ears. I would never say that because I'm not a doctor on a television show.
We've told them specifically, stop saying big words in our ear.
Yeah, damn.
You're throwing us off.
You get a 3-syllable per word.
We need some just not ajimang, not ajimang, not ajimang, like in the chat, bro.
Make it easy for us, bro. So, all right, why don't we look at the vital signs of this national team before the World Cup next year?
So look up forward to World Cup. But I just want to thank everybody watching on the Cooligans YouTube channel and across all of Yahoo Sports' channel. So hit the like button. Follow Yahoo Sports. You can follow us at Soccer Cooligans if you haven't yet. If you're new here, we're both stand-up comedians. That's why the show is very stupid. And we talk about footy. Okay? So that's that's the elevator pitch. But yeah, let's move forward.
I also want to thank all of our investors. John Sexter.
Sexter's a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
All right?
Big, almost too big from some of the photos.
Okay.
Seems painful.
He's sexting us right now. Put it on the screen.
Hey, all right. Here we go. All right, let's think about what are your feelings so far, knowing that there's a couple of friendlies, a couple of big ones. I think we're playing Japan soon.
Yeah.
There's a couple big ones on the way, but no real competitive matches on the list here.
Your boy's worried because
you got to give me a scale of 1 to 10 here. 10 being like, hey, we good, baby. This our World Cup. To 1 being like, why did all our guys run backwards? You know what I mean?
I think right now it is at a 3. I'm highly concerned, especially because of what this roster looked like. It would have been nice. Like Mexico's roster is probably going to look kind of similar at the World Cup next year
to what we just
saw. Our roster is not. So these friendlies are going to be really important. How many total matches do we even have?
We'll look that up
until the World Cup, because if it's more than 8, I'd be very shocked.
If it's 8, I'd be shocked.
So it's probably 6 is my guess.
Yeah, somewhere between 4 and 6.
Two
friendlies set up now, but there's a couple windows.
Book more gigs. Book more friendlies.
Get out there. Do some open mics. Just prove to the world. You know what I mean?
Show me you want it.
Play a friendly versus Columbus Crew.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do whatever it takes.
You know what? The USMNT national team needs to join the Canadian Premier League. Now, I got some ideas.
Come to my Sunday league. We'll play you at Brooklyn Bridge Park.
100%. Yo,
let me know.
Zoran can play. Why are you not?
So let us. We need a lot of games. So I'm at a 3 right now. That number can change if these friendlies just look better.
I'm gonna say I'm at a 5, and the reason why I'm at a 5 is because this was not the roster. I'm upset, I'm frustrated, and I'm disappointed that in an opportunity to build rapport under a new coach, which yes, maybe the players don't need it because they know each other, but under a new coach and some new ideas. The ability to build that rapport going into the World Cup was this competition.
Yeah.
Was meaningful matches, which we do not have any left. This was the opportunity to do that. Doesn't mean they don't put it together. Doesn't mean they don't come together in the World Cup and have a good run. I'm not suggesting that, but I'm saying this was a chance to really be able to do that. And they lost it out over needing time off and some players in the Club World Cup. Sure, fine. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to look past that and say that I'm disappointed in that. But knowing that this squad isn't what we're going to have to depend on heading into the World Cup leads me to believe that I know our players are better than this. And if we had our A squad, we would have walked all over this Mexico team. Mm-hmm. So I'm confident in saying I'm at a 5. That means it could go either way. I'm sitting on the fence, essentially.
Sure.
It could go either way, and I don't know if it's going to go good.
Or go well, not go good.
No. I said what I said. I meant go to the good side.
Yeah, this is... I understand everybody's level of concern. I mean, there isn't... but also, I just want to say this.
Okay, Andrew Johnson chimes in with 6, I think.
Okay, 6 matches. If they win...
That's Sexter's. 6, I think.
If they win the Gold Cup...
Blurry.
If they win the Gold Cup...
Wow, Michael Raymond's at -10.
If they win the Gold Cup, I'm still concerned. I'm not...
You wouldn't say 3, though.
I wouldn't say 3, but I wouldn't say much more. I would probably say 5. I would probably say 5.
You bugging.
No.
If they win the Gold Cup, you got to say 6. Sexter, 6'9". This is the most sexual live stream.
I love that.
None of us said 69, by the way.
But,
Did I?
Yeah, we had the 69th minute. Remember?
Oh, 69th. Hey.
Right. Shout out to Michael Raymond for reminding us and reminding Alexis that it was fairly sexual early in all of this stream. So, and thank you, and shout out to producer Carter and Andrew on the graphics as well.
Yeah, Josh is in here, which is why we're not barking like a gorilla in a cartoon, I guess.
But for highlighting the comments that need to be highlighted. So everybody thank Carter and Andrew in the chat for doing.
You know how you like them? Hit the like. Hit the
like button. They love the like button.
Even if you click the like button already, do it a bunch more times. Do not worry about that.
Okay.
Michael Raymond has a plan. He says we convince Messi to be a citizen and make a switch to the U.S. We promise him he can be president. I mean, I'm down for this.
I mean, and you're bringing up some good political ideas.
As
well.
What's Messi got going on?
No, you know what? It's interesting. That reminds me of another Argentinian that became an American citizen fairly recently, Lucho Costa, who arguably could play for the U.S. at some point if Pochettino really.
This would have been a good opportunity to see that. I think his
I don't think
gone.
I don't think he's probably not lived in the country long enough. I think it's 5 years, or I don't know what the issue is.
No, once you get your green card, you're good.
Well, he has a citizenship.
Oh, then you're good.
Yeah. So I think he can already be called up, but hasn't yet.
He probably could have been called up to this.
Maybe, I don't know, but that I've heard that spoken a little bit. That would be it's one of those. Klinsmann did this with who? What? There were a couple players that were like, who the hell is this guy? But he's like, he's American now.
Was it Osorio?
No, Osorio was Mexican, but born in the U.S. I think.
Maybe.
Julian Green?
Oh, Julian Green was a dual citizen.
And not just any like dual citizen, but it was like
he went out and found him.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, we had never heard of this guy, and now
right, we know your daddy. Mel Clear and the Aliens, great name. I'm glad we're picking these people. Said I keep saying bring Jose Mourinho in as U.S. men's national team head coach for our team to have any chance of competing in the 2026 World Cup on a relatively equal footing. He would know how to put together a more combative team. There's still time. I've been saying ever since Berhalter left. Look, we've had this conversation. I had this conversation multiple times on Morning Footy with Charlie. Charlie kept banging on about Mourinho. I know, in a way, I think Mourinho's kind of lost his magic a little bit. Mm-hmm. I just don't think. I think you have to keep going down the road of this team has the skill to play the game in a beautiful way. I think that draws more eyes to the national team. I think that helps in the long run. For future, I think bringing in Mourinho would be hoping for short-term gain, and yet we all know it would be long-term negativity. Look at the way it's ended everywhere he's been. This man, like early in his Turkey run, said the league smells bad. He said it's gray.
Yeah, it was not.
It'd be too tough for me to bring him in.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, I'm not. It always ends negatively. So
Bryce Jackson, by the way, said Julian Green and Aaron Johansson. Remember Aaron Johansson, the Icelandic
guy. So
guy.
Lucho is not exact thing because it's not coming from it's not coming from nowhere.
Yeah.
But it is like, literally no connection to the national team.
A citizenship.
To the national team. I'm just saying.
Still, that's connection.
I ain't saying, and we can put it to the chat. Lucho Costa wants to play for the U.S. What do you say? You make a spot for him.
Yeah, he should have played in this roster.
You just make a spot for him. I mean, I don't care about optics. I don't care about what it looks like.
Yeah.
Ringer.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want.
If you don't trust that, or maybe you don't watch MLS and you don't know who Lucho Costa is, just Google Lucho Costa, Wayne Rooney, DC United.
Oh
watch that.
Literally one of the greatest moments in MLS history.
The guy's 5'3" and he scores a header to win a game or to equalize. Was it? I think it was. Was
it equal? I don't remember. Anyway,
still you got to watch it.
But no, this is so. Look, incredible game. Congrats, felicidades a Mexico. Another Gold Cup. The U.S. got there, and we all have our opinions on it, and we'll see what the World Cup looks like next year, and what this roster looks like. But I'm a little bit more optimistic about the, or not even necessarily optimistic, but I'm realistic about where we are and what what I expected from this roster and this particular squad. And there is Club World Cup and a lot of the drama with Pulisic, I think, had a big impact, or at least an impact on this game, because I do think if McKennie, Weah, and Pulisic are in that game, if they're there is a bit more possession at the very least, and a little bit more confidence, and a little bit maybe drawing back at Mexico a little bit, and just having that poise in a game like that, which those players were not ready for that game. So, but yeah, I do want to say thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you joining us live after the Gold Cup. Everybody all across all Yahoo Sports channels. Shout out to Yahoo for broadcasting this as well. So make sure you hit follow, like on all Yahoo Sports channels, and you can follow us at Soccer Cooligans and subscribe on YouTube.
That's right. If you're a fan of soccer, we cover the game. So make sure you watch and listen. You probably see our faces on some of the articles and stuff.
Yeah.
So you got at Soccer Cooligans on everything. You'll find us.
Exactly. And last thing, just because we haven't been on air since the tragedy happened with Diogo Jota, obviously have to talk about that, because obviously it's incredibly
condolences to him and his family.
Yeah,
and Fabio Silva as well.
Yeah, just incredibly tragic, so sad, and I mean when this happens in soccer and football, like obviously everybody, Raul Jimenez did the celebration. He was former teammate.
They played together at Wolves.
At Wolves, and it's just so. It's just so disappointing, and obviously these tragic accidents
the man got married 5 days before he passed away in a car accident.
It's just brutal, and the more you hear the stories, and now you start seeing more clips and content about what he was just like behind the scenes, and it's just like just incredibly kind person, and beloved, especially by Liverpool fans. Even I'm an Everton fan, and he broke our hearts plenty of times, but even Everton fans showing so much love and support for all of Liverpool, for what kind of just this unbelievable loss, an immeasurable loss. So we just
breaks your heart to see a young
condolences
person die like that.
to the Jota and Silva families. Just incredibly tragic. So
also that just goes to show no one's time is permanent, like guaranteed here, right? We're all on borrowed time, so hug your loved ones. Tell people that you love them when you get the chance, because you don't know if that's the last time you're going to see them.
Exactly. So everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with the Cooligans. We appreciate.
Oh, and I hope Sebastian Fry is okay.
Stephen Fry. Right.
Sebastian
I don't know the detail. I know he got injured in the game. And
but somebody asked. Michael Raymond said, "Y'all hear about him?" So we hope he's okay. We know he got carted out.
Yeah. He's on
ambulance.
Stephen Fry, a friend of the show. He's been on several times. So I hope he's okay. I'm hoping we end the stream and I see some good news on my phone later. But we'll see. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it, and we will see you in a few days. We'll be back on Thursday with a brand new episode. So tune in. Cheers.
Love you guys.